jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports.
What up, it's your boy Roy Jones Jr. and right now you tune in to World Combat Sports.
Yes, sir. Once again, thanks for tuning in. You're listening to World Combat Sports. Happy Friday to each and every one of you that's out there living, breathing, and blessed. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to the supporters who's already in the building. Do me a favor, hit the like button on this Friday. And you know what it is. We are back on the MMA sound. You know what I'm saying? We off that MMA sound once again. It's MMA and boxing, but tonight we're going to sound off on U.F.C. 270. We're going to sound off on one of the biggest heavyweight championships that's going down. Francis Ngannou versus Ciryl Gane. Both of them have titles. Of course, one is the Super, which is Francis Ngannou, and the secondary title holder is the interim, Ciryl Gane. So I'm trying to wait till a little people, a little more people pop up in the live chat. But do me a favor, share the content. Call some people over. You know what I'm saying, before it really get popping tonight. It's only 6. It's only about 6:45. You know what I'm saying? So you good. You straight, man. Before y'all head out. Hit them streets, clubs, happy hour, restaurants, whatever. King Mitch on deck, man. What it do? DB, salute WCS, salute to you. Appreciate you pulling up. So let me go ahead and get into it. Talk about this fight card. Pretty exciting fight card. I like it. You know what I'm saying? I like the fight card. But first, we need to tell you about the people that's on the fight card. All right? That's very important to talk about the people that's actually on the fight card. Okay, my fault, people. Had to return a text right quick before I get started. Okay, this is going to be going down in Anaheim, California, man. It's a total of 11 bouts on the card. UFC 270 is going down. Anaheim, California. 11 fights on the card, including the main card, which is hosting 2 championship fights. And look, those 2 championship fights alone, the backstory makes it all the more interesting, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's give a quick run through of the main card. The main card is going to be the main event. Francis Nagano versus Syria Gunn at 265, which is heavyweight. Brandon Moreno versus Davison Figueiredo at 120 pounds flyweight. Michel Pereira against Andre Filio at 170 pounds, which is welterweight. Cody Stamann versus Saeed Nurmagomedov at 135 bantamweight. And Michael Morales versus Trevin Giles at 170 pounds welterweight. Let's talk about the history between Brandon Moreno and Davison Figueiredo. But those of you that follow the sport, you know we're talking about mixed martial arts. And we all know when it came down to Davison Figueiredo finally getting his shot at the title once, look, Demetrius Johnson had left the division and Henry Cejudo had left the division. He was able to go in there and fight the one and only, one of my favorite fighters, good dude, Joseph Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? I really thought he was going to be a champion one day. He received 2 shots from Figueiredo. One, Figueiredo missed weight, and then the next he did, and he knocked him out both fights. So the first one, when he knocked him out, he wasn't able to pick up the title because he missed weight. So they said, basically run it back. That's what we can do for you. Stepped in for the rematch, bow, knocked him out again. So Figueiredo goes in there against another Mexican mixed martial artist who was once let go by the UFC, and Brandon Moreno. He steps in there to pretty much, add to the history that's been set with Henry Cejudo being the first Mexican. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about a gold medal wrestler who was able to win the 125 pound flyweight championship and the 135 pound bantamweight championship. They call him none other than Triple C. So pretty much you have Brandon Moreno that's a Mexican, and you have Henry Cejudo that's a Mexican. But they done split camps. Brandon Moreno left the camp from which they was training at. With Henry Cejudo and everything. You know how stablemates get when you reach a certain level and you decide to leave the camp. He has familiarity with Davison Figueiredo also. Look, somebody have to leave the camp. If you go in here to defend your title, someone has to leave the camp. So the first time these cats fought, right? It was a controversial decision. Then the second time, Moreno went and got it done. He subbed Davison Figueiredo out with an RNC, dog. I couldn't believe what I was watching because I was up here telling people I thought Figueiredo, first of all, was big for the flyweight division. And I thought he was tough enough to, go for a title run for a little bit. He looked strong in there. And Brandon Moreno came in there and really pushed the pace and never allowed Figueiredo to basically get settled and set, and get into rhythm. He just took the pace to him. You know what I'm saying? He didn't act like he had any type of fright, scared, none of that. He really set a good pace going in there, which works for the ended up getting a takedown, and then he ended up subbing him out via rear naked choke. Now, the good thing about what I always say about the UFC is what? They love putting fighters back in there to fight tough fights. I love it, man. Y'all better end up loving it too, because I have less stress when I'm sitting up here reading mixed martial arts than I do with boxing. Because I don't know what the fuck to believe with boxing. At least I know what's going down over here in the UFC. 2 different universes, people. The universes between these two is incredible. But when it comes down to the co-main event, this is a championship fight, a trilogy already. I mean, come on, man. These guys would have fought in 400 days 3 times. I think in 400 days they would have fought each other. This is the trilogy. They would have fought each other 3 times. That's amazing, man. They're going in there for a trilogy. You never hardly see a trilogy like, Stipe Miocic and Daniel Cormier. Both of the individuals are equally talented. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Brandon Moreno and Davison Figueiredo. Both of these guys are extremely talented mixed martial artists. Going in there for a freaking trilogy. That's wild. But currently, Brandon Moreno is the flyweight champion. He is a kind of, happy-go-lucky type of dude. I like that. He's a killer, but he doesn't walk around like that. Like, really, if it would take a lot. Like Brandon Moreno is one of them guys that you can slap and he'd say, listen, stop it. I know you're upset, whatever it is. Listen, don't hit me again, but I'm letting you know. I understand your pain, da da da. Boom, they hit him again. Listen, I'm warning you. He'll give you the motherfucking warning. He that nice of a dude, dog. He's goofy a little bit, but that motherfucker can fight. Brandon Moreno, I'm not sure what he's trying to. I mean, not Brandon Moreno. Davison Figueiredo, I don't know what he's trying to be right now. I don't know. He looked like a hip hop artist, a Brazilian hip hop artist. I don't know, Paul Wall-esque, gold in the mouth and shit. And I don't know, but he can fight too, man. Both of these guys can fight. They have a good, distinct history. They've been in there twice with one another, and they about to step in there for a trilogy. A trilogy, y'all, for the flyweight world championship at 125 pounds. On to the main event. And the main card will be pay-per-view. Because that's the way the UFC do it. They don't bullshit. Like all the stuff we talk about, whether the fight gonna be at this place, that place, this place. The UFC, they pick they motherfucking spots. They set the fight card already in motion, and they put the fighters on the flight and get the hell on. That's what MMA does. They put the fighters on the bird and go. They're already in California. The weigh-ins happen. It's going the ceremonial weigh-ins. One thing I love also about the UFC is that they have ceremonial weigh-ins. They weigh in earlier, get the weights, boom. These are official weights. And then they have a ceremonial weigh-in for the fans, man. I like that shit. That shit is awesome. But when it comes to boxing, of course, the weigh-ins is not open to the public. Just media. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really don't know what we're about to see. Why is it so difficult? Anyway, we have Francis Nagano. We have the one and only Francis Nagano that's 16-3. You know what I'm saying? I want to go down his age. Nicknamed the Predator. He used to have braids and he used to look like a freaking predator. Age is 35. 6'4". His pro MMA record sitting at 16 wins, 3 losses. Currently on a 5-fight win streak. A 5-fight win streak. And, he's from Paris, France. All right? Fighting out of Paris, France, okay? But we know he's from Nigeria. Serial Gun. Check out Serial Gun. 10-0. This is a rare sighting, a little bit. I know Israel Adesanya was undefeated, all the way up to Warren Blachowicz. I know all that, but I'm just saying, heavyweight, 10-0. 10-0. Serial Gun is the new kid on the block. He comes in at 31 years of age, 4 years younger than Francis Nagano. And, contends in the heavyweight class, 6'4" from France. He's currently on a 10-fight win streak. Of course, he's undefeated. That's why. And, he's stepping in there with the guy who's faced the champion already. Now, some common opponents between these two. All right. We're going to talk about Junior Dos Santos. A common opponent, Junior Dos Santos, Ciryl Gane fought him in December 2020 and stopped him in round 2 with an elbow. When Francis Ngannou fought Junior Dos Santos, it was in 2019, May. And I'll say June of 2019. And he pretty much stopped him in round 1. Hooks to the body. All right, hooks to the body. They also have the common opponent in Derek the Beast Lewis. All right. Derek the Beast Lewis has a loss. All right. He has a loss to Ciryl Gane, who went in there and stopped him pretty early. You know what I'm saying? This would kind of put him on the map, even though Derek Lewis is who he is. You know, he's still an evolving heavyweight. You still get credit for it. But Ciryl Gane went in there and stopped Derek Lewis in round 3, ground and pound. Francis Ngannou stepped in there with Derek Lewis and had one of the most boring, one of the top 2 in the UFC. One of the most boring fights you ever see. It seems like, man, they somehow, some way, the other one had talked to the other, and they was like, hey, man, you know, my calf feel a little sore. You know, I went a little bit too hard and spoiled. Oh, for real? Well, you know, my hip isn't, 100%. Plus, my elbow is a little tight. Oh, yours too? Oh, wow. My earlobe, it's a little sore trying to, get up out of those submissions and everything. Wow, man, the inside of my ear was aching me too. But really, it's, like the heel of my foot. So it seems like they got together and said, hey, man, there's some stuff going on. I ain't feeling right. They just went in there and moved around the worst way to move around with your opponent. Like, this is not even sparring moving around. This is like moving around, looking at the clock, tick away, and not doing a damn thing in the cage. If you ever want to see one of the boringest top 2 fights in UFC history, in MMA history, watch Francis Ngannou, Derek Lewis, the first time they fought. Moving on. Got to get past them. Jardinho Rosenstruck, right? Hey, this guy was so highly touted. You know what I'm saying? He had the power and everything else. He went in there and pretty much looked like he was doing reconstructive surgery on Alistair Overeem. He hit him in the mouth so hard and split his lip all the way up to his nose. He was in there looking like he was there performing surgery, facial surgery on Alistair. But anyway, it was a lot of hype between Rosenstruck behind this dude. And Ciryl Gane ended up going to a decision with him. You know what I'm saying? Back in 2021, he won a decision with him. But let me tell you about Francis Ngannou and Jardinho Rosenstruck. He fought him in 2020. April of 2020. 20 seconds in round 1. It was the wildest. Like, Nagano was just swinging wildly to the point where if you stand on line with someone who's coming forward and they're throwing punches at you and you're right there in front of them, but yet at this point in time, you don't have unlimited free space. So Jardinho Rosenstruck ran into the fence. And when he got to that point, Francis Ngannou was able to land and clip him on the chin and knock him down and ground and pound him and have the fight stop. Rosenstruck knew he was in a cage. You just can't run backwards and expect not to hit the cage. You're running out of real estate. And Ngannou took him out. At this point in time, both of these guys been in there with worthy opponents. But I'm going to tell you, Francis Ngannou has had the better resume. He has the resume. You know what I'm saying? On top of who I mentioned, Junior Dos Santos, Yadinho Rosenstruck, Derek Lewis. You look at Francis Nagano, he's been in there with the Cain Velasquez, former champion. He's been in there with Curtis Blade. You know what I'm saying? Twice. Curtis Blade had a lot of hype behind him, wrestler. Man, Francis Nagano changed that dude's career. You know what I'm saying? Francis in there with Stipe Miocic. Stipe Miocic handing him his second loss. And then, like I say before, them matchmakers over the UFC, they say, hey, just continue to fight this, and this. We're going to put you back in there. We're going to put you back in there, big dog. Don't worry. We're going to put you back in there. So, look, what made Francis Ngannou just take a little bit longer, after his fight with Stipe Miocic, he went in there and lost to Derek Lewis in one of the most boringest fights that I told you, right? Then he steps in there with Curtis Blade. A second time, y'all. This is his rematch. He finished him before, and they gave Curtis Blade another look. They say, you want another look? We'll put you in there with Francis again. Boom. He goes in there and gets stopped in the first round. Francis destroys him. Then he steps up to arguably could have been one of the GOATs of the heavyweight division, Cain Velasquez, rather. Cain Velasquez blew out his knee because he's been out the sport with injuries for quite some time. So he finished Cain Velasquez in round 1, man. Then went on to face Junior Dos Santos. This is somebody who's coming off 2 back-to-back losses in 2018. All right? He fight Curtis Blade. Boom. It's 2019. He has 2 fights, Cain Velasquez and Junior Dos Santos. And then Zeno Rosenstruck fought him in 2020, round 1. They give him a title shot, bro. These guys right here, Curtis Blade, Cain Velasquez, Junior Dos Santos, they sitting up there in the ranking somewhere, but they ain't top 5. He got a title shot with Stipe Miocic. Lost it. Lost the title shot to Stipe. They give him Derek Lewis. They give him Francis Ngannou. All the meal tickets he need. Hey, you want to eat? Okay, here you go, Derek Lewis. Kept on giving the opponent 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 fights, get him back in there. This is from his last loss, July 2018, to when he stepped in there with Stipe Miocic, March 2021. This man had 4 fights in between that time. He fought in 2018, 2019 twice, then 2020, and then they put him in there with Stipe, and he ended up knocking him out in round 2, left hook. I don't know why boxing can't make it happen like this. I really don't know. But anyway, let me keep going on these 2. To make it even better and to spice it up just the way you like it, to get that twang, you know what I'm saying, and put that I don't know, that pepper flavor, make it a little spicy, you know what I'm saying, but not too salty type. These 2 guys actually train together, for a little bit in the same gym. So it's been a dispute on what happened during one of those training sessions, which became the topic of the conversation during the presser. UFC has some damn good pressers, in my opinion. Real talk. I mean, UFC has some damn good pressers. I don't know if because Dana White's standing up there and he's seen it all and he'll let you talk your shit sometime to sell the fight. But let me let you listen to the audio of basically Ciryl Gane talking to Francis Ngannou about saying he knocked him out in sparring. You know what I'm saying? Real good audio. Check this out. Then I'm going to get to the chat.
No, Ciryl. And then you lift the training.
So can you explain exactly what's happening?
Oh, you don't remember?
Tell the people.
Well, left high kick.
Left high kick, and you say you knocked me down.
So Francis Ngannou is explaining to Ciryl Gane, and he said, "You don't remember?" Trying to insinuate that he knocked him out. And Francis Nagano just told Cyril that, hey, it was a left high kick.
You went on the floor or not?
I was on the floor.
This is kind of funny because we'll be laughing at each other talking like this, but you're talking about people who know multiple languages and everything. So, you might want to fall back on that shit. But he said, you was on the floor, I'm on the floor. Just a little bit of humor.
You don't remember.
Oh, you're a liar.
So he was knocked out probably because he doesn't remember.
No, this is not the truth. Honestly, you know me already. With Francis, we did some sparring, and it was a really great sparring from Francis. And he did a beautiful left kick. And the problem with Francis is just you don't like to spar technical sparring. You like to make power, and I told you a little bit a few times before. So you give me the left kick. You hurt me. You see, I'm honest with you. You hurt me. You hurt me. But
Cyril Gane admitted that Francis Ngannou hurt him with the left high kick. He admitted to it. I mean, I'm gracious for that. Like the man saying, you hurt me. No lie. But look, Cyril Gane can fight. He's going to have to bring all of that tomorrow, Francis Ngannou. But Cyril Gane is responding to Francis Ngannou saying, yeah, you hurt me, man. It was a beautiful left high kick, man. It was a beautiful kick. You hurt me. No doubt about it.
You don't knock me down. This is not the knock down.
You didn't went down on the left high kicks, Cyril. Let's be honest. And you say I don't spar technical sparring. I spar with 155er. I spar with girls. And they don't complain. I mean, obviously it was a good sparring. He's not lying about that. But you went down on that. I mean.
Okay, I'm so sorry about that.
I respect you, and I know, like, out of everybody here, you're the honest one. And I know you could have be real about that.
You respect me?
I do respect you, brother. You don't
His Cyril say, you respect me? And Francis say, I respect you, brother. I like that. It's like they going at each other just a little bit. It's like Cyril, you could tell he has great honor as a person. Like real. You could tell Cyril has honor as a person. You know what I'm saying? As a man. So he already admitted that he was hurt by the high kick. But he was telling Ngannou that he didn't knock him down or knock him out. And then they just had an exchange where Cyril said, you respect me? And then, Francis said, I respect you, brother.
Respect me in front of the people. You're lying.
I'm lying?
I sleeping after you left kick? Seriously. Connect me on the eyes.
Okay.
Honestly.
I don't have the tape, so I
He said, connect me on the eyes.
can prove that. But that is somewhere on the tape.
Okay, you don't prove that. I'm so sorry. We can talk about that a long time.
Cyril, if Francis is lying, why would you say he's lying?
Because it's not the truth. He hurt me. I told you. He did a beautiful left kick with too much power. But you really don't knock me down. Exactly what's happening is he hurt me. I was really surprised about the power because I told him a few times before. So I said, no worries, I want to jump again in. And the coach said, no, guys, stop it. You're gonna do something wrong. So that's why we stopped it.
So what Cyril was saying, because he has a deep accent, is pretty much that Francis did get a hold of him. He touched him, right? But yet, when the conclusion is what needs to be sealed up tight for the fans. Because heading into this fight, right? If a fighter is saying he knocks you out, she knocks you out, right? She has knocked you out. And you left sparring, you couldn't continue. That's bragging rights on the person who delivered the knockout blow. And this is where they at with Cyril Gane. Gane is saying, no, the coach told us to stop because he knew it was going to get serious or whatever the case. And it wasn't that I was knocked out. The coach said, stop the fight. And then, no more. You cannot restart. It's done. So Francis is going to ask him, did you leave or not? Did you leave?
Do you stop sparring that day? Did you continue sparring? The question? Did you continue sparring that day?
Didn't continue because the coach didn't want that. Because I was a little bit disappointed about.
Did you walk out of the training? Go grab your bag and leave the gym that day, sir? Either way. But either way, that doesn't really matter because that was accidentally. I didn't mean to hurt him with a kick. It happened. And the only reason why you were here talking about that is the footage that you guys released, then forced me to talk about it. I never talk about it because it was an accident. I didn't mean to hurt you. We were training. I was helping each other. So once again, I respect you. And then I'm not lying. On Saturday, we're just going to fight, right?
All right, Francis. Big brother.
Francis.
Yeah, slap him in the face.
So pretty much, mad respect between these two. You know, Cyril, like I said, is 31 years old. Francis 35, and he said, okay. And Francis said, tomorrow night we're just gonna fight. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna fight. And he said, okay, big brother. I think, he's one of those honorable, disciplined martial artists that takes it serious. You know what I'm saying? Try to live his life as a respectful dude, from what I know so far. Francis Nagano, in my opinion, has basically covered all his routes. You know what I'm saying? He's basically picked up all the rocks along the way, put in the work. He's pretty much, got it out the mud, been in there with the big names and everything, and earned his spot, even after being defeated, back-to-back losses for Stipe and Derek Lewis. For him to come back and knock out Stipe and become champion, you can't take anything away from Francis with 3 losses. The man is world champion, 16-3. 3 losses, dog. 16-3. He is a heavyweight world champion. About to go in there and defend his title against arguably a very tough opponent and former stablemate in Cyril Gane. Mitch is, of course, talking about boxing. Let me see. He said, come on. They count him out. I hope the Apex first shows up and shows out. PBC damn sure. Building Pac-Man Promotions, though. Mark Nash on deck. What's good? What's good? But that's where we at right now with this upcoming fight card. I like it. I'm definitely looking forward to the flyweights at 125. Getting in with the history. Listen, the history behind the flyweight division, y'all. Y'all don't want me to go off the top. Y'all don't want me to go off the top, man. The history of the flyweight division it's a fantastic story. Very, very, interesting with it being full contact sport, UFC, and how the division even started. Let me give you a quick breakdown, okay? Because I pretty much went over the card. This is mixed martial arts talk. You know what I'm saying? So for Brandon Moreno and Davis Figueiredo, this is off the top of what I know. You know what I'm saying? So excuse me if I don't get every T crossed and every I dotted. But anyway, the man of the hour, Demetrius Johnson, who's currently in one championship fighting right now, and he has a very tough fight coming up. Demetrius Johnson had his loss in the UFC first against Dominic Cruz at a higher weight division. 135. Then they opened up the flyweight division, 125, and Demetrius just pretty much ruled in that division with 11 successful title defenses. Like, wow. 11 time. You know what I'm saying? Dude was amazing. Finally, within that recourse of fighting your opposition, it's only so many names you can fight during that amount of time. So he pretty much had went in there and beat Henry Cejudo. I'm saying he had defeated Henry Cejudo before. And it took Henry Cejudo like two years, I think, to get back in the ring. I mean, get back in the cage with Demetrius Johnson. And then the next time he did it, it was a controversial decision. You know what I'm saying? Boom. Henry Cejudo defeats Demetrius Johnson. And check this out. This is where it gets very intriguing, right? He stops and shut down the reign. No rematch, no nothing. I'm talking about that was the second time they fought, but they wasn't fighting for no trilogy. Henry Cejudo becomes the flyweight 125-pound champion and the first Olympian. You know what I'm saying? He's a gold medal Olympian to come in there and win a title. And the first Mexican at that weight to win a title, I believe, too. First born Mexican, what have you. So Henry Cejudo is riding a high. Dana White is trying to get behind him. But, you know, people are always saying that Henry Cejudo was cringy, which he is. He has this thing where he stares at you and tuck his chin. And he look like a bigger version of Chucky. You know what I'm saying? Just you know, Mexican Chucky. He gives you that weird, creepy type stare. You know damn well he up to something. But anyway, Henry Cejudo is on the high. And, you know, it's a little shakeup that's going on with potentially him becoming champ, 2-division champ. So at the time, TJ Dillashaw was the 135-pound champ. And Henry Cejudo was going to go up there and fight TJ Dillashaw 135. But he was asking a heavy load of money. They pretty much said Henry Cejudo talked himself out of the fight at 135. You know, he talked himself out of the fight. He was asking too much money. And he was pretty much, you know, the A side, you know, like they was giving him the leeway. They took that and they said, hey, we're gonna talk to damn TJ Dillashaw. Fuck that. The 135-pound champion comes down to 125 pounds. So we have a title bout. We have one of the best bantamweights in TJ Dillashaw going up against the flyweight champion Henry Cejudo. Now, TJ Dillashaw has been multiple time bantamweight champion. So he's coming down from a higher weight class. Always super shredded. If you look at the picture with him and Cody Garbrandt, when he was goddamn letting his emotion out from knocking him out. Dude is super shredded. This no lie. Dude is super shredded, right? And being that a guy that, you know, just, you know, I delve in that arena of water depletion and shredded, but he's fighting. He's not competing in a damn aesthetic contest. He's fighting full contact sports. And I said to myself, something just don't look right about TJ Dillashaw. Dude is super shredded. And I was saying to myself, something doesn't look right. He doesn't look clean, dog. He's super shredded, like barely any body fat when he's in there fighting. He's going in there winning. So he steps in the cage with Henry Cejudo for the flyweight championship and the bantamweight championship. Both titles on the line. Loved it. I love it. I love fights like that. Fighters coming in, they have the opportunity to put in work with two different divisions. So TJ Dillashaw goes in there and get knocked out. Henry Cejudo knocks out Dillashaw. Knocks him out in the first round. Knocks him to sleep. Henry Cejudo, y'all. He becomes the 125 and the 135-pound world champion. He renames his alias Triple C. He earned that shit. No doubt. Look, Henry Cejudo earned that shit. I was a fan when he went in there and pretty much, you know, gave a pretty good go with Demetrius Johnson. You know, I was saying to myself, all right, cool. I'm a fan. I like his style. He can wrestle, but he can strike his ass off now, right? So he goes in there and stops TJ Dillashaw. What more could be wrong, people? What more can go wrong with this situation? TJ Dillashaw pops dirty. He pops dirty, y'all. See, let me even back it up a little bit more. Let me just back this shit up just a little bit more to when they was coming up through the Ultimate Fighter, and Conor McGregor was telling Uriah Faber that T.J. Dillashaw's a snake in the grass. Conor McGregor was telling him that. He said, "Oh, there you go, that snake in the grass. The snake in the grass. That's where he's at. That's what he is. He's a snake in the grass. I see you. The snake in the grass." You know, he kept telling him he's a snake in the grass. Uriah, that's a snake in the grass. And he was right. Come to find out, T.J. Dillashaw and Dwayne Bang Lugwit, another former UFC fighter, but T.J. Dillashaw's coach. Now, Uriah Faber, the one scooped him up when he was in high school, put eyes on him, and brought him into Team Alpha Male. Then, as time went along, and for whatever reason, TJ might have looked at like, Uriah Faber, you ain't won no belt. So it's only so much you can teach me. So they start plotting with his coach Ludwig to buy a house out there where Ludwig's freaking school is at. Didn't tell nobody he was looking for a house. So boom, not only did he betray his team on Ultimate Fighter, but Conor McGregor was actually trying to expose him for that. Put it out there that Dillashaw was a snake. Then it comes down to him popping dirty. He gets suspended for 2 years, bro. And comes back and it's a lot to prove with TJ with the fans. They feel betrayed. You know what I'm saying? They feel betrayed. So when you come back from doing that, it's according to who you are, because John Jones didn't really get that type of jeers from the crowd. John Jones, a multi-time offender. They just love John Jones because they see him as a GOAT. But when it came to T.J. Dillashaw, I don't know, man. They seemed like they was really angry at him for popping dirty. So he says he hit rock bottom. It was the lowest point of his life. Obviously, you was on the brink of some big fights. You know what I'm saying? You had went in there and won the championship. You know what I'm saying? You was on a high. You was on a motherfucking high, and then you pop dirty, and people's like, well, were you dirty when you fought Cody Garbrandt? Because you knocked out Cody. He knocked out Cody twice. Were you dirty when you knocked out Cody? People start, discounting his previous wins with big names. They was just pretty much saying, hey, you popped dirty, and you was probably dirty these last couple of fights too. So anyway, he has came back, and Henry Cejudo. Well, let me back up a little bit. Henry Cejudo, I'm trying to move it to the point where Brandon Moreno and Davidson Figueiredo become important, become relevant in the flyweight division. Henry Cejudo, after he knocked out T.J. Dillashaw, he retired. I mean, not retired. He will fight Dominique Cruz and then he retires. He knocks out Dominique Cruz and he retires. I mean, he looked spectacular in that fight with DC. He retires from the sport, and the belt becomes vacant, and Davidson Figueiredo gets the shot, right? They bring in Joseph Benavidez. Joseph Benavidez and Uriah Faber has a commonality in the sport for the wrong reason. Not the commonality that they train on the same team, but within the UFC, they have had multiple title shots to try to get the belt around their waist. Benavidez was no slouch, very talented guy. He just couldn't get it done. So when the title shit opened up, that's when Figueiredo and Benavidez fought. Figueiredo didn't make weight that time. When he knocked out Joseph Benavidez, it's Joseph Benavidez. He knocked out Joseph Benavidez. Guess what? He didn't make weight. So Dana White said, what? Dana White said, okay, cool, let's run it back. Let's run that shit back, dog. They ran it back. He knocked him out. He made weight and knocked him out. Have y'all been listening? They gave Joseph Benavidez 2 times to become a face in the flyweight division. Figueiredo stepped in there with Joseph Benavidez. I already told you, right? This is the third fight between him, but he went in there twice against Joseph Benavidez. MMA with rematches, man. Putting opponents in there to make a living to improve their craft. He went right back into an immediate rematch. No 8-week training camp or none of that shit. Whatever happened. And he knocks him out again. He becomes champion. Did they give him a soft touch, though? Because I mention this all the time about the matchmakers over there. Dana White is not the matchmaker. I'm just putting it out there. Dana White is not the matchmaker. Sean Shelby is. So I know people, be thinking Dana White runs everything because he's a president, but that's not the case. He is not the matchmaker. All right. So Davidson Figueiredo wins the title after fighting Joseph Benavidez, and then he steps in there to fight the first of his trilogy. He's about to go right into a trilogy. Hold on for a second. Look at this, though. Look at this shit, dog. Brandon Moreno ended up getting a draw in 2020, December 2020. That's coming off the pandemic, right? Then next year, June, the following year in 21, June, they step back in there. And Figueiredo gets subbed out in round 3. He gets subbed out. So check this out. Davidson Figueiredo wins the title. You know what I'm saying? Wholehearted, free and clear. When he went in there and stopped Benavidez, free and clear, he's a champion. And then he fights some guy named Alex Perez. Nobody was even worrying about. And then they put him in there with another top guy in Brandon Moreno, and that would be the first fight of their now that's going to take place tomorrow of their trilogy. Let me tell you a little bit about Brandon Moreno, though. Brandon Moreno was in the UFC, pretty early. To be honest, he was back in the Ultimate Fighter season 24 back in 2016. He fought, I would say, all the way up to about 2018, from 2016 to 2018, and the UFC let him go. He lost to Sergio Pettis, Alejandro Pantojo. UFC wasn't playing. They say, shit, buddy, you got to go. So Brandon Moreno is out here fighting in grappling tournaments. All right. Not just any grappling tournaments. He's fighting in combat jiu-jitsu. Combat jiu-jitsu, you are able to basically delegate palm strikes to your opponent. Not just like where you're going for position, submission. You can either win off, who had the better momentum, authority during the match, or points. But combat jiu-jitsu allows you to palm strike your opponent. No closed fist, palm strikes. But getting back to Moreno, when he was out there, right, doing grappling tournaments, fighting in LFA, back in September 2019, man, they called him back to the UFC. His first fight back in the UFC, he goes to a draw with Askar Askarov. A split decision. Like, this dude is very, very shaky right now, dude. He was in the UFC before, and then he had a couple of losses. They take him out. He go do combat jiu-jitsu and have a fight in the LFA and come back and get a split draw. Then they put him in there with Kai Kara France, which that dude is crazy. Like, he's pretty decent. And he won a unanimous decision. Then they put him in with Jusir Formiga. He wins again. Now, so far, He's came in here off LFA, and he's had 3 fights so far. They put him in there with Brandon Royval in 2020. So you count up all the fights, he had a total of 4 fights at his return to the UFC. He didn't leave the UFC as a champion. You know what I'm saying? He just had a couple of losses. Boom, they got rid of him. He came back and had 4 fights since returning in September 2019. And he gets his first title shot December 2020. You heard it right. He came in September 2019 and had 4 fights. Well, 5 fights if you count the draw. 5 fights. 5 fights from September 2019 to December 2020. Let me run that back past you again. How I like how the system is working in rotation for mixed martial arts, especially UFC. He comes in there September 2019, his first fight back, Askar Askarov. He had 4, Askarov, and he goes in there to a split. And then he fights 3 more times. And he's in the ring now. He's in the ring for a title shot. And this is his 3rd fight. This would be his 3rd fight in 2020. He fought in March 2020, November. This is where it's going to get interesting, right? March of 2020 and November of 2020. March of 2020 and November 2020. Now do the numbers. He beat Brandon Royval with ground and pound in round 1, November 2020. The very next month, y'all, in December 2020, he's fighting for a freaking title. Check this out. This is not the beginning of the month. This is not the beginning of the month. November 21st, 2020, he beats Brandon Royval and then steps in there December 12th, 2020 for a title shot against Davis Figueiredo. And Figueiredo did not make weight. That's balls, ain't it? That's what they call cojones, man. He took a title shot with a very small training camp. He just came off a fight where he finished in round 1. People look at that like, oh, he didn't take no damage. He was still in fight camp. You know what I'm saying? You have to factor in him being in fight camp and then stepping into the cage. That's tough. Boom. He wins the fight, have a little bit of time to recover. I got to fight. I got to get back in there. So he probably took like 2 or 3 days recover, probably did some crowd therapy, and then he jumped back in the cage and got a majority draw. So from December 2020, they kind of gapped it a little bit. From December 2020, they stepped back in there June of 2021, and that's when he subbed them out in the 3rd round. Really, really gave him the business, man. Really made him uncomfortable in there. And, you know, shout out to Brandon Moreno for getting that win. So he fought Brandon in December 2020, June 2021, and guess what, people? Guess what's about to happen? They about to step back in there in the trilogy. Just over 400 plus days. You know what I'm saying? They first fought December 2020, as I repeated. They're back in the cage again, January 22. This is a trilogy, y'all. This is a trilogy. Could you see this going down in boxing with a short period of time? I mean, come on. Could you see that shit popping off like that, man? This is incredible. From December 2020, and now it's January 2022. They're about to step in the cage for the 3rd time for a championship fight. They have a draw to their name, and then Moreno was able to sub him out in the rematch. Let's see what it brings in the trilogy. And they're the co-main event, people. They are the co-main event, dog. We're talking about Moreno's backstory with him being released from the UFC, going out there doing combat jiu-jitsu. You know what I'm saying? Fighting LFA for a fight, returning back to the sport, getting a draw, returning back to the UFC, getting a draw, and then have some fights. And he's right back in there, and his career is catapulted now. Not from the draw he got, but going in there and subbing them out and becoming world champion. It's no one side of this and that and the other and negotiation and all that shit. It ain't happening over there at the UFC. Like, you can negotiate, but it's nothing like we see over here in boxing, man. These fights get made. These fights get made. Way more organized and giving the fans what they want, man. We have a trilogy, which is about to go down. A trilogy, bro. Let's go back and take a look at Davis and Figueiredo. Davis and Figueiredo fought Joseph Benavidez February 2020 and July 2020. Top tier competition. Joseph Benavidez. And then he has one fight in between. Now he's about to step in there and fight Brandon Moreno after coming off a loss in their rematch. You can go into a championship fight in the UFC and get knocked out or get stopped in the first round. Dana White, more times than none, they give you another shot. Real talk. They give you another shot, dog. I've said this before, man. It's crazy. They gave Dominique Cruz, ample amount of time. You know what I'm saying? They gave Uriah Faber ample amount of time. They gave Max Holloway. He's pulled out of the next Alexander Volkov fight. He's out of that now. So Henry Cejudo, bringing it full circle. Henry Cejudo was trying to get Dana White to put him in there. So Dana White ended up responding. He said, yeah, Henry Cejudo's talking all that, put him on the slot to face Alexander Volkov. Because he's trying to become the first 3-division champ. So he's already picked up the strap at 125 and 135. He vacated those titles, right? Alexander Volkonovsky fights at 145, which is featherweight. He ended up defeating Max Holloway to get that belt. So since Max Holloway pulled out, Henry Cejudo said, hey, put me in there. But Dana White called him out on it. He said, we never received no phone call from y'all. Dude, stop capping. We never received no phone call. Stop it. Stop sitting up here playing with the fans and making it seem like you want to step in there when you never gave us a call to get in there. Now, I'm not saying Dana would have did it, but it would have been a damn good lead up, good anticipation if Henry Cejudo is trying to do something that's never been done in the UFC. He's trying to become the first 3-weight world champion. So therefore, that shit would have been special. You know what I'm saying? But hey, hopefully I gave y'all some little crumbs and everything to make a meal on what you choose to do tomorrow. I'm gonna be tuned in to the BJJ championships that's going down tonight. You got some big names over there, man. Craig Jones gonna be in the main event. Facing Pedro Moreno. That's gonna be a damn good grappling match, and this is straight up no gi. You had Mikey Musumeci. Michael Musumeci came off a tough fight with Gabriel Sosa, and when they was at the Who's Number One championships. But he's still, like I say, in the BJJ game, I love it. Like, you lose, it doesn't really count like your losses, like boxing and stuff like that. Grappling matches, you can lose, win. It's all about how you can make it to that certain level where you can win the big titles. It's way different. Like, black belts get celebrated in Okay, so you can be a black belt and have, titles here and there, but you really applaud it if you have the ADCC title. You know what I'm saying? Or you have these world titles that they have back and forth. But it's not like, you can lose in MMA and you don't catch the heat like you do in maybe MMA or boxing, especially boxing. But anyway, you have some pretty good fights there. This fight card is probably going to be like 4 or 5 matches, male and female. And for those of you that really don't like grappling, I'm telling you, it's really an intriguing sport. I do call it the muddy flats of combat because it's so much you need to learn. It can get dirty real quick for you in the worst way. Submission, popping some joints, tearing some damn ligaments and shit. Yeah, they have you out for quite some time recovering, and then you got to get back in there after having repaired and go back to the submission game. That's not easy, bro. That's not easy. Let me get back to the live chat right here. Dundot on deck at World Combat Sports. Appreciate you pulling up. Salute to you, my brother. WCS, the UFC is a perfect example of the capitalism Rick Glacier was talking about. How many chances did Dana give their cash cow John Jones, and they suspended Nick Diaz for 4 years over a joint? Just like marijuana being legalized in NYC. People go through changes. People go through different eras where laws change. You know what I'm saying? Where you have to look at the time that they was actually putting on fights, and then they say, oh, we need to implement USADA. We need to clean it up. We trying to get shit sanctioned. We need to clean it up. So they brought in, USADA to start cleaning the sport up. Things changed when it was certain marijuana could not be used in violation of marijuana pop dirty. You pop dirty for marijuana. Now, what is it? People coming up in certain sports that marijuana is no longer something that's in violation if it shows up on your test. You remember Ricky Williams? He was competing in football back then, where he was a heavy weed smoker, and it kind of hurt his career. But he's saying, hey, that's what I do. It keeps me feeling a certain way, this, that, and the other. So you have the change of the times there, Don. When it comes down to, Diaz was popping dirty for something that's become the norm right now. It's become the norm. I hate it that they never stop smoking weed. Like, it's a lot of individuals that compete in combat sports that smoke marijuana to keep them calm and cool and carefree. You know what I'm saying? They do. But if it comes down to it being a banned substance, they gave out the suspensions as they saw fit. Not anymore. Not anymore. Seriously. I mean, changing of the times, man. And shout out to the Stockton OGs, Nate and Nick Diaz. And appreciate you dropping that info. Now, let's talk about the first half of what you're saying about capitalism. When you have a president, you know what I'm saying, of a promotion, and you have it organized with the Fertitta brothers, Dana White, and many other people that was part of that initial push until the Fertitta brothers and Dana White chipped in and took it over. Now, this is what I like about it. It started off very, very rugged. It was no holds barred, no equipment. It was bare knuckles and all that shit. Slowly but surely, they started cleaning it up. And with the cleanup came what? More tight-knit structure. So when you shut down and start, tighten that bolt to have a more organized, certain things that's gonna have to come into play. I didn't like when he restricted the damn sponsorships of the fighters. I love to see them banners come over there. For one, I knew they was getting paid, and two, they sponsors is showing up there. Plus, it has the fighter. And they say, damn, he's sponsored by all those. Okay. And then they have the fighters picture. I thought it was pretty cool to throw that banner over there. And then, Dana White, Fertitta Brothers, like Don said, they started to clean it up, tighten the bolts and shit, sweep out the dust. They brought in Reebok. When the Reebok deal came in, fighters was like, oh my God, how am I going to survive? I can no longer have these sponsors. I'm under contract with the UFC. I'm going to get a salary, a little small stipend from the sponsor Reebok. That was much less than what they was receiving from all the multiple sponsors outside of the organization. So they had to deal with it. And then, from what I understood, it was a lawsuit that was out there with a lot of former fighters who was trying to sue the UFC for fighters pay, whatever language they use. They was trying to sue them because they felt like the pay was the pay wasn't enough. And just like Don was talking about, capitalism, a lot of what you see over there, it's really nothing the fighter can do. Like, what are fighters? How are they able to make money with with mixed martial arts and damn boxing? How are they able to make money outside of that shit? I mean, these motherfuckers should be able to go while they're signed on the contract, go out here and make money doing. It's just like having a part-time job. Look, they're not gonna worry about you working at Starbucks and Burger King if you sign with damn PBC or Top Rank, a Golden Boy. But you go out here and get with a major company and it starts selling some merch and your shit's flowing. They say, excuse me, the boss said, can he see you in his office around 15:30, 15:35, if you can. Yeah, bring a pen and a pad. We have to discuss some business issues. We're going to look over your contract again and clear some things up. Okay. All right. Seriously. Fighters are not able to seek out collective sponsorship. Now that Reebok was in the game and fighters had to damn near adjust off ramen noodle pay, they finally just changed, the fight kit, the sponsorship to Venom. I always liked Venom gear, you know what I'm saying? Always better than Reebok. But now it's Venom gear, and from what I understand, it's a slight increase in the fighters payout per the sponsorship payout, not they actually make for the fight. They get a little bit more, but still they're struggling. Like mixed martial artists, man, a lot of them may complain about the pay, but they make a living. I'm serious, man. He has those fighters in rotation, y'all. It's no sitting there all relaxed. Let me go over here, do this, that, and for a good 6 to 8 fight camp. Man, these mixed martial artists be going in there 3 weeks. And they be going in there with a quick turnaround, dog. D-Ray Promotions on deck. How you feeling, bro? Bruce Goes, Boxing, Jazz, and more on deck, man. What it is? What's good with your? It's my medication. Yeah, like for my understanding, a performance enhancing drug or a banned substance that would get you suspended. It's becoming so norm, being taxed, California first to do it or whatever. And then of all places, certain other places, decide to fall in line. And then we just seen, not too long ago, NYC, they did it. So they won't have guns over there, but they legalized marijuana. They want everybody to be low key, feeling right, to walk on the streets. Hopefully they can be smart enough to curb the crime over there. I don't fucking know. But it seemed like everybody, when I was over there, it seemed like they was happy. I'm not gonna lie to you, dog. It seemed like they was just minding their own freaking business, walking up and down the street and shit. But yeah, it's unfortunate, man, that Nate and Nick, they never stop smoking marijuana. They do it for their everyday living. and it did mess up their career a little bit. But I don't think they really give a damn. They continue to run the school, and it is what it is, man. I really don't want to see neither one of them come back to the sport of mixed martial arts and fight anymore. They took a crazy amount of damage, and I don't know how they're going to be able to, complete a full sentence in about 7 to 8 years. But you can barely understand what they talk about right now, and that's from all the hard fights they've been in, the punishment. Everybody's physical anatomy is wired different, especially neurologically. And some people can take punishment and they speak just fine over the years, and other people like Nate and Nick Diaz, who are damn good fighters, very tough when it comes down to any of it. They are absolutely tough, been in there with the big names, but you know what I'm saying, they may have pugilistica in the next 10 years, 8 to 10 years, who knows. But yeah. Yes, great point on WCS. With too much structure, they start to control the fighter. The only breakout star we have seen from the U.F.C. is Conor in boxing. We've had Floyd, Oscar, Tyson, and many more. I would tell you this. I think Dana White is going to open the doors just a little bit more, just a little bit, to basically entertain some bullshit. And this is what I mean by that. Dana White is all about that money. Dana White is about that money. So just think about what he did, right? Just think about when James Toney came over there to fight Randy Couture. Think about that shit now. James Toney didn't train no motherfucking mixed martial arts. He brought James Toney over there to fight Randy Couture, dog. Boom. Fight stopped out first round. Randy said, "You ain't going to the motherfucking Nobel with me." Took him down, played with him. They stopped the fight. All right. Then you look at who's the other one? CM Punk. CM Punk was a world wrestling entertainer, a superstar. It was word getting out that CM Punk was coming to the UFC. And Dana White, he definitely played into it. He gave him the promotion, gave him the lens time, all that shit, bro. He allowed him to go to school, this, that, and the other. CM Punk did everything he was supposed to. Went in there, and Mickey Gall subbed him out quick. Bum, bum. Bing, bong, bing, bang, bang. Done. What Dana White do? You know what? I'm going to give him a chance, man. I'm going to give him a chance. So he put him in there with Michael Jackson. Defeated. So Dana White is all about the bullshit sometimes. He is. He's all about the cross-threading. Now, him and Jake Paul, man, is been going each other for quite some time because Jake Paul want to come into the cage. The Paul brothers has wrestling background and everything. So Dana White, I'm telling you, bro, he likes money. And just like he was able to do with Conor McGregor with Floyd Mayweather, people have to understand Conor McGregor was dialed in, laser focused. Everything about the window that he took advantage of was perfect. Perfect motherfucking timing for Conor McGregor. He was a 2-division weight champion simultaneously. He was a dang superstar in the UFC. What better way to send him over there to the boxing arena? Because people at this point in time truly believe that him knocking out Jose Aldo in 13 seconds and stopping Eddie Alvarez in 2 rounds, he was the shit. So Ronda Rousey had already started putting the motherfucking onions, the scallions and shit in there, tomatoes, sweet peppers. She had already been putting the little seasoned spices in there for Floyd Mayweather. She actually believed that she can beat Floyd Mayweather with one hand tied behind her back. Ronda Rousey was so high in the motherfucking cloud, y'all. Her head was all the way in the fucking clouds. You couldn't tell Ronda Rousey shit. And she was talking about how you feel there, Floyd. How me receiving the ESPY award and you then this, that. She was really poking the bear, but Floyd would have beat her ass, period. in boxing. Would have beat her ass. So long and behold, Conor McGregor latches on to the motherfucking kite. He said, "Oh, I see you up there flying that shit, Ronda." He took control of it. And then Dana White started talking about it. And the fans start, "Oh shit, is this for real? Is this for real?" And it ended up being one of the highest grossing fights, man, in boxing history. And you had an MMA fighter with no boxing experience as a professional, dog. That shit is Look, I look back at that legendary run by Conor McGregor. It's just, that's why Dana White allowed Conor to get away with some certain shit, y'all. He might put out some bullshit to the media, but he allowed Conor to get away because Conor put millions in his pocket. Conor stepped up to fight when others was backing out. That's why he keeps giving Conor these easy go at the title. From my understanding, right? You look at Conor McGregor going in there against Khabib Nurmagomedov, boom, subbed out in 4 rounds. Now you have Charles Oliveira, right? Who's a champion. And then you take in consideration who should be in line to face Charles Oliveira. And I'm hearing that Conor McGregor is going to jump over Justin Gaethje and possibly get the shot. And Justin, he can take the social media all he wants. Dana White don't care about that shit. He's like, say whatever you want. At the beginning and the end, you would know who schedules to fight and sign your checks. That's Dana White mentality to all y'all. That's his mentality. But y'all missing the fact that Amanda Serrano, you know what I'm saying? She crossed threads between mixed martial arts and boxing. Heather Hardy did. You know, I don't think she's actually had another fight following her last, but she crossed thread. Heather Hardy and Amanda Serrano. And then most recently, Carissa Shields had 2 fights in mixed martial arts. I'm telling you, Dana White trying to entertain the bullshit. But see, check this out. Bruce said the same with Brock, except Brock came back and won. Yeah. The reason I look at Brock Lesnar was already training mixed martial arts. And he was a legitimate wrestler. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you have those wrestlers who fought, you know, above the average coming up. And especially, you know, Brock Lesnar was a beast. He came over there. Dana White gave him a chance. Like, you talking about a world wrestling entertainer, a superstar like Brock Lesnar. He was entertaining the bullshit outside of what we call true martial artists. Brock Lesnar was training mixed martial arts, man. Like, Brock was a motherfucking beast. He came over there. He went through the fire. You know what I'm saying? He learned how it was, but he ended up getting the get back. You know, he got that get back. He went through the fire, but he ended up getting the get back. Became champion. You know, had his ups and then he had his downs. If you remember, Mark Hunt, he was trying valiantly to have Dana White and UFC overturn his fight with Brock Lesnar because Brock popped dirty. And you know what, Mark Hunt, you talking about a prior kickboxing, you know, dude I used to watch coming up when I was stationed over there. I used to go over to the fights where he was a kickboxer at the Grand Prix. And he was known for his power, a very soft type of physique, but the man had knockout power. So when he came up to the UFC and, you know, he had his fights, but he fought Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar popped dirty, right? So, you know, Mark Hunt was like trying to legally get it changed over and get a portion of Brock Lesnar's purse. And Dana White wasn't hearing none of that shit. Like they finally, I guess, changed the fight to a no contest. Mark was kind of looking at it like, no, I want the win. And I do believe Mark Hunt is one of the fighters that's on this lawsuit deal with the UFC. I believe so. But anyway, moving forward, that was another guy who was a world wrestling entertainer, superstar. Dana White gave him the opportunity, and he ended up winning the championship. You know what I'm saying? So he's up for the bullshit. It's just really right now, like the only boxer, period, across the board, that's on the highest level that has came from boxing over to mixed martial arts, a multi-time, 18-time world champion is Holly Holmes. She is the most decorated boxer that is contending in mixed martial arts. Period. We talking about competing, then went to the championship level, all that shit. Holly Holmes. You probably know her from her defeat over Ronda Rousey with that left high kick. Shocked the world. She is the most decorated boxer to come over there and win a championship in the UFC. Like, I know Serrano is 7th division champ, but Amanda Serrano fought at a neighboring division. Holly Holmes is considerably fighting on the highest tier of mixed martial arts promotion in the UFC. You know what I'm saying? So that's good shit. That's real good shit. But good info there, Bruce. Real talk. Done. That is what the PBC trying to do with boxing, lure all these fighters with big checks. Once they have enough, the minimums are going to start getting lower and lower. I don't think the minimum from the sponsorship decreases like that. I looked into it one time. It's not like the fighter get their little sponsorship money from Venom or Reebok, Venom right now, and then they get their payout for whatever they're getting for the fight. That's how that works. But see, boxing allows a fighter to have sponsorships. Boxing still allows fighters to have sponsorships. But you don't see boxers out here just in the real world on TV like that across the board, like big names is coming up. You don't see them in front of the lens like that. Like back in the day, we used to see these fighters in front of the lens. We used to see them pop up every now and then. Absolutely, we did. But you're not going to do that in the UFC. When you want them to come mixed martial, no, you're not going to do that over there. Hell no, it's not going to happen. It's not happening, people. Executive even said they eventually want to have a PBC belt. Hey, man, I'm telling you, boxing is not regulated. You have individuals over there that do what they want to do. It's wide open. It's the OK Corral. And you're going to continue to have situations that's straight up disasters. And people are going to be victims of that shit. That's what boxing has always been. If people just get in their head not to let boxing stress them the hell out with expectations that they're putting on themselves and hope that boxing will somehow feel their energy, boxing is not going to feel your energy like that. You have too many moving parts in boxing. There's too many people that's making money off boxing, but yet the sport can never grow as a single entity. It's just everybody's just dipping into the motherfucking bowl, just grabbing. Boxing cannot move or elevate itself because it's not an entity. It's not as one. People may talk about boxing as a single combat sport, but when it comes to how it's moving, the business aspect of it, you can't even find a fucking starting point. You can't find a starting point for this sport. Everybody have different type of deals. Different arrangement here, different arrangement there. You know what I'm saying? The shit never stops. So I'm not here to, compare mixed martial arts to boxing, but both of them have their pluses and minuses, their pros and cons. Absolutely. But when I'm not on YouTube, doing lives, that's because I'm looking at videos. Like right now, I'm about to check on this BJJ championship that's going on, like I mentioned earlier. And I'm up here looking at BJJ videos. I'm looking at people talk about different things on how the sport is continuing to improve. I'm reading up on mixed martial arts, so I'm studying more than one sport to pretty much educate myself on what I'm looking at. I need to know what I'm looking at when it comes to mixed martial arts, especially the type of strikes that they're executing, and also the ground game. I totally have to pay attention to that so I can know what I'm watching. It's very important. You have to, look at these BJJ matches, and you have to get enthused about it. If you're not enthused about it and you choose to say, fuck it, it don't interest me, two people on the ground, dry humping one another, then that's not a love that you see. You know what I'm saying? People look at it differently. That's not a love of yours, and how unique that beautiful nightmare is. You know what I'm saying? And how you can set up your opponent. It don't matter what size they are. I mean, limbs are limbs. And we all know it's kind of different with size and, throwing punches and shit like that. But BJJ is amazing. It's an amazing sport to behold. Real talk. BJJ is an amazing sport, man. Mixed martial arts is amazing, Boxing, you have to know what you're doing. It can be amazing at times, when we get to see certain fighters shine. You know what I'm saying? When we get to see them actually shine against one another. Not too often we get to see them shine. And I'm just wondering why it's so difficult. That's all. But yeah. But I'm about to go watch this BJJ tournament, y'all. I appreciate. Let me see if it even came on. No, it's not even on yet. So let me kind of caveat to what I was talking about earlier, right? I want y'all to go check out the live earlier when I was pretty much speaking on Barbershop Conversation, when he had Rick Glazer on there. He had Cal, his co-host, and he allowed people to call in or come to the panel, which I thought was very informative, seriously. Very informative platform and no censorship, in which, his guests that may not agree with a lot of people, he allowed callers and he allowed other people to chime in and have access to him. It's a very complex situation when you look at that. Like, people will tell you, I don't like your format on how you run your channel because you're not correcting people. And then, you have it where you having these individuals that's not readily accessible to the YouTube community, and you get to call in, you get to hit the link, you get to ask the question that you want. Not everybody can have that access to people who you'll probably never break bread over their house in life. So that's why I find the most unique about his platform, having these individuals on there, allowing the YouTube community to summon questions from them for answers or whatever. And then the guests themselves stand there long enough to hear him out. Now, of course, like I said earlier, with Rick Glazer, in his job, man, him being the inside of the boxing, he ain't trying to put out no boring ass content. He want you all to be concerned about him. He want you all to tune in. He want you all to pay his damn mortgage. He wants that. He wants to be somebody that his employer keeps close, whoever he's working with. So you can say racist all you want, but he's up there working with Freeway. And people don't understand how that happened. They ain't gonna dare question Freeway. They ain't gonna say, "Oh, you don't know what the fuck you're doing." But he find that Rick Glazer is, good to do business with. I mean, I don't care what people say about. I'm not doing business with him. But if you have other prominent black names that's doing business with him, they must not see enough fault the put a concern out there to say, is this a smart idea? No. You know what I'm saying? Is this a smart idea what I got going on? I don't know. But I look at like the Black Eyed Pea comments and cornbread. Man, his wife is black. She told Fred, you need to have me on the show and all this. I'm curious to know how that's gonna be. Like, I wouldn't do it per se. I wouldn't put, if I was married, I wouldn't put my wife on no motherfucking platform for these goddamn little wild puppies. These little stray dogs. There ain't no way I'll put my wife. I don't care how educated she are, how strong she is. I don't give a damn. If you've been married to this woman as long as you say, you'll never put her out there to fight a battle for you just so she can give someone a different look than what they think about her husband. Bad idea, bro. Don't ever put your wife out there to these cats right here. They would not appreciate it. To allow somebody to openly have access to disrespect the shit out your queen, and being that you a white man and she a black woman, man, they're gonna be there drooling when Fred dropped the link, if he does. Come on, Fred. Drop that link, Fred. I'm hungry, Fred. Drop the link, Fred. Drop it. I'm hungry. This must be out there salivating, dog. They boys be like, dude, what's wrong with you? You know you up here goddamn drooling at the mouth? I know, man. I'm about to watch barbershop conversation. They having Rick Lace a wife for there. I dropped the link there. Drop the link, nigga. Let's go. They must be hungry. I'm serious, dog. They'll be like, Fred, drop the link, dog. They must be on the yak. They must just rolled up 2 or 3 ahead of time. I wouldn't do it. If you're listening, Rick, do not put your wife out here. It'll be all bad, dog. Don't have her coming on barbershop platform to that open gateway to fight a fight, which is all yours. That's your fight. Have them come at you, bro. Have them come at you. I don't care how strong you think she is. None of that. I don't care how thick skin you believe she has. Don't send her out here to forage in this jungle. The YTC is too many people that aren't favorable of Rick Glaser that would send her, when she lay her head down, would send her to sleep with a nightmare, a vivid nightmare on her brain. You know what I'm saying? On her thought process that night. Because you look at it this way. What if somebody say, like, what kind of taste you have? You know what I'm saying? You want me to respect you, but what taste do you have? You know what I'm saying? Getting with somebody like that. It wasn't enough brothers out there for you, sucker. You don't want that conversation, dog. You don't want someone to come at your wife like that, and she make headlines for the wrong reason. Because somebody done got it. Look, and everybody's screen recording. Everybody's screen recording now. You see that thumbnail go up, man, they're going to go on that motherfucking screen record the whole entire show. If she come in there and she handle her own, okay. All right, salute to you. I get it. But I'm just saying, I don't think the shit's going to play out that way. I don't think she can go in there in this Serengeti right here and answer questions about the actions of her husband. And also being that people believe he's a racist, you're going to have them raw. Look, Deacon 305 going to be right there. He going to be one of the ones licking his chops. He's like, shit, Fred, I'm on it. It ain't going to be nice, Fred. I'm going to talk to this sister right here. Drop the link, Fred. Deacon 305 going to be ready, dog. He said, sister, I don't know if you heard me speak on this platform before, but I got a bone to pick with you. First of all, whoever told you it was okay to sit up here and marry that race? I think he's a racist yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And for you to be a black woman, man, I'm telling you, man, it'll be all bad, dog. You know I'm telling the truth. You know I'm telling the truth, man. I'm making light of it, but seriously, I just think it'll be a hornet's nest, man. It'll be a hornet's nest, man. It'll be all bad. Let me move on from this. Man, there's so much going on. I mentioned this about Conor Ben, right? You know, Conor Ben is thinking about, trying to get the fight with Maurice Hooker, right? Next fight. And then after that, all of a sudden, we don't know if it's goddamn Adrian Broner. Conor Ben is talking about what? Oh, I want Keith Thurman after this. I don't know who the fuck is talking. Eddie Hearns or Conor Ben, goddammit. That's what's up with boxing. Only time we hear the boxers talk is they come in here on one of our platforms, or they come in with, in front of the lens behind the mic on one of these other platforms, these mainstream media. That's it. That's it, bro. Like, he's all over the place. I mean, we hear name after name after name. Okay, so if indeed it's true, cool. Conor Ben, you get past Maurice Hooker. That's going to be a tough fight for you. And then, according to what Keith Thurman does with Mario Barrios, it's all fantasy talk, just like always. It's all future narratives. You know what I'm saying? It's all shit that we can't talk about because we know nothing about. We just know about it. Like we have familiarization with it. That's it. We don't know anything else. So we got to take it as it is. The situation is going on, right? Well, what I'm hearing about Jamal Charlo, in some cases, they say the fight signed already. Look, kudos to Jamal Charlo finally getting the fight. Don't become Daniel Jacobs, okay? Because the way you pulled up on Daniel Jacobs, a lot of us thought that you and Daniel Jacobs will fight. And the shit never fucking happened. I'm telling you, I'm still looking for my reimbursement and reparations just for the simple fact you wasted my goddamn time. Jamal Charlo, don't roll up and get a fight with Canelo Alvarez and look like Daniel Jacobs did when he fought him. Don't do it. Don't go in there just to be a second man in the ring, an opponent. Come in there and shake shit up. Come in there like a Jamal Charlo we never seen before. Man, let us see you damn rise to the motherfucking occasion, bro. Do not go in there and be another Daniel Jacobs. Put yourself in the group of Floyd Mayweather on you know what I'm saying? And Canelo's damn resume. Be the dude. Hand him his second. Be that dude, dog. You're going to have to fight better than you ever had in your lifetime. But kudos to you, finally goddamn getting a shot. But I'm going to tell you once again, that meeting in the hallway with Jacobs and y'all going back and forth, he telling you about M's. Ever since then, Jacobs has been fighting like he's making millions. And he ain't giving a damn about the performance. You get your shot at Canelo, how different is it going to be from Jacobs, Caleb Plant? How different is it going to be with you stepping up there? So I ain't sweating that shit too much. When it happens, it happens. Kudos to the lottery ticket. Real talk. Kudos to the lottery ticket. Next, I had to speak on the Cambosis situation. I'm not going to talk too long on it. The Cambosis situation, I look at it like this. Bob Arum continued to sit up here and just spit on people. I swear to God, man. Every time you turn around, Bob Arum is just doing something, dog. I don't know what it is, bro. They have some good shit in this weed, but he was pretty much saying where he's gonna get the money to basically put up for the Lomachenko-Kambosos fight, because this is turning into a price tag, which Bob Arum doesn't want to, make it seem like that he's willing and able to do what PBC just did. PBC just sat there and hosted the Canelo Lottery Fest, and he made all that money. Bob Arum can't do that shit. PBC is structured different off a hedge fund than Top Rank. It's structured different, people. Structured different. So he don't know where he's going to get the finances for it. Seriously. He don't know it. So now they're talking about, well, Devin Haney may be the default for George Kambosos, due to the money situation and everything else. There's many avenues they can take to get these fighters paid. But Kambosos, being a little thought he is, he may put himself in a situation where he may not benefit to the maximum degree to get the money that he wants from this fight. Because we just at a point right now, boxing is still trying to get up out the hole, period, from the pandemic, from 2020. There's still some shit going on. Like, I know we had some fights pretty decent here and there, but I'm saying it's still some recovery that's going on, people. That's what it boils down to. So if indeed we hear something in the next week, hopefully, I really want Devin Haney to be able to have the opportunity to go in here and take the titles from Kambosos. Real talk. Because with the ducking and everything and the shit that's been going on in boxing, all the sham, the fuckery, the deception, the lies. If you're going to have Lomachenko and Tio fight for the belt, Tio Kambosos, why not Kambosos pick Devin Haney to finish it up? All I'm saying, it's good. It's good. Let's get that shit done. And no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Let's clean off the motherfucking table. Moving on. It's talk out there that IBF potentially, want to mandate Ortiz and Ennis. Listen, I don't care who's first, second, third, and fourth to release this shit. Y'all need to stop and get out your mind that just because you think you release some information, that is something that people gonna rebel in the moment and say, "Oh man, I'm good." It's good they released that. Good. Period. We all know Boots is coming. We know Virgil Ortiz is fought who he fought. We know that. If indeed the shit is true and these two are gonna be made to fight one another, good. I mean, Boots is sitting at 28 freaking wins, ain't he? Good, he'd be able to fight Virgil Ortiz. They got to step up, force Virgil Ortiz to take a tough fight like Boots. Cool. But this what I don't want to hear come back in the equation. I don't want people to believe that he's going to be running people out of the welterweight division. I know we far past looking at these damn ranking systems online and everything and who this, that, and the other. Y'all have to let that shit go because the rankings are full of shit too, dog. They can maneuver just like they did when they was trying to make the damn Tyson Fury Anthony Joshua fight. They didn't know what was going on with Oleksandr Usyk. You know what I'm saying? And they was playing off like they didn't know about Deontay Wilder in arbitration. So they want to have people, do this, that, and the other, stall them out. Man, they'll talk behind the scenes. They'll make some promises. They'll give them some promises and shit to appease them, curve their appetite just a little bit. That's what the fuck they're going to do. How many people just come out the blue and taking step aside money? Isn't that what they're trying to do for Joshua? They're trying to give Joshua and White step aside, right? But they found out Joshua won a whole hell of a lot for step aside. Joshua won like 15 million, 15, 20 million for step aside. 15. If he's able to get 15 and 20, he won. God damn. You trying to tell me step aside money, I'm going to get that much, and y'all still going to goddamn host a fight, and I'm going to get the winner? Ah, great. See, I don't know how that's going to be worded, and because Dillian White taking step aside, where did he fall in? Is he going to get the winner, or he's going to get Anthony Joshua has first dibs because he was supposed to step in there for a rematch? How's that going to work? I don't know. I can't tell you. I cannot tell you. But when it comes down to what we know about it, it gets a little funky, don't it? It gets a whole lot funky. We want the funk, the funk. It gets a little bit funky, dog, because that's how boxing likes it. Boxing likes it funky. So for people to be hopping on Jerome Ennis fighting this, okay, cool. If you fight Virgil Ortiz, cool. And whoever got the title, they're gonna have to come see Ennis sooner or later. I'm not going back and forth. It's like it's not gonna happen. That is a changing of the guard right there. You have these other fighters coming up here. That's a changing of the fucking guard, dog. I told you like years ago. I told you the changing of the guard was gonna happen. The current champions is due to rotate out. They're due. They're on deck to rotate out. And this is where we at. It would be good if I had the team, so I can pull my damn live when I talked about this, how the changing of the guard is going to become a reality real soon. And that's what we're looking at. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people just hoping Spence is able to get where he need to be with Ugas and the same blah, 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 rah, 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 ha, ha, ha. The same shit we talk about all the time. So we'll see how that flows, man. You know what I'm saying? We'll see how this flows. I like it though. I like how all the damn. It seems like this is we're trying to start a little wildfire in boxing. With the Shakur Stevenson, Oscar Valdez situation. We might get Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk for undisputed. We got Jamel Charlo coming up. Brian Castano. 60. Ain't shit popping at 60. Ain't shit. That's dude. Ain't shit popping at 60, dog. That's amazing how you can have such a dead, gangrene motherfucking division and nothing's going on in that division. And then you got Mr. Gary Russell Jr. stepping in here, man. Had a little bit of difficulties making weight. Going through a tough time, man. I get it, big dog. I truly do. I get where you're at right now. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it there, Russell. You've been with your pops for a long time. He was in your life the right way. Y'all have a strong family over there. Masago, he's pretty much thinking Gary Russell's overlooking him and everything. And with the mentality, them Russell brothers call themselves apex predators, bro. That's the way they think. They think like that. They think above their opposition. Laura used to beat up on Charlos in the gym all the time. And Andre had called Laura boring. Andre called someone boring? What? Somebody need to goddamn pass a cup and urine to Andre. Laura almost beat her, got dropped late, and lost in the scorecards. Super close fight. Hurd was just too big. That's when they was calling Hurd the weight bully. And Hurd was just taking those punches, man. That was a damn good fight with him and Laura. But Laura was just like stop and go type of shit. I mean, like Hurd was forcing him to fight. And he was getting lit up in that fight too, Hurd. But like you said, he got the late knockdown. And, that's not the first time Laura's been in. Laura's been in that situation. Talking about none of them fighting each other, bro. Yeah, it's just weird. 160 pounds. Oh man, that's just a disgrace, man. A lot of fighters are taking step aside money. In some cases, we actually get to see the fights we want. Yeah, but once again, like, you're paying a fighter step aside money. Isn't the problem with the best fighting the best is money? So in order for the best to fight the best, you got to pull out more money to entities that's not actually participating in the fight. In order for us to get the best fight the best, you trying to tell me you got to pay off to other individuals for the best to fight the best? That's weird. Like, boxing need another plan, dog. They need a CFO. They need somebody that's a motherfucking commandant of boxing to run this shit. Yeah, Stanthionis got step aside money, but after Ugas versus Spence, it's Stanthionis getting step aside again. That's just the whole point, man. Like, that's where it gets a little bit crazy, because if Stanthionis was supposed to get the shot, what's next for him? What's in the contract? How is it worded? What is his reward outside of step aside money? When does he fight? Step aside money is good shit. You can jump out of motherfucking training camp and you know you're getting paid. That's beautiful. I ain't gonna lie, that shit's beautiful. I got Ennis Virgil Golden Shower Girl promotions. Ain't having it. I have Ennis absolutely punishing Virgil Ortiz. Seriously, I got him punish him, dog. Virgil might step up. I don't know. And make it more competitive than I think it is. But I see Jerron Ennis just giving him a clinic, man. For real, I see him giving him a clinic, bro. We just don't know everyone look like a world beater fighting domestic level fighters. Listen, my people, listen about domestic. Listen when we talk about domestic fighters. You have fighters coming into the sport who are domestic. You have fighters that's unable to have the glorified amateur career to boost them up and come into the professional ranks with all that momentum and hype behind them. We always gonna have domestic. What is domestic? The whole sport is domestic. The whole sport is marginal fighters. They're not the cream of the crop in combat sports globally, well-rounded. I'm talking about all around sports. They're not. Boxing has an open gateway for all these domesticated transients that come in here and attempt to compete in the sport and make a living. How they do it, we don't know. They can be journeymen. You know what I'm saying? They become the Reggie Stricklands of boxing, or they become, pretty decent. Where they win one, lose two, win one, lose one, win two, lose one. They become that type of fighter, an opponent. That happens in the sport of boxing. They can become an opponent. What's the difference in Lipinets at 140 getting beat by Ennis and Josecito Lopez 47 getting destroyed by Canelo? They're giving Ennis all the credit, but Canelo cherry picking. Once again, like domestic level fighters, right? You're always going to have a lineup where you're going to have some opponents in there that you don't like. You don't think they the top tier. You don't think they the best fighters. Who is the best fighters? There's only elite few that's considered the best fighters. So when you say people cherry picking, man, yeah, it's going to come sometime when you think individual cherry picking in boxing. It's normal. It's a normal thing right now. Because look, 1 through 10 are not straight up wolves. We're not dealing with sharks and wolves in this bitch. Boxing is not arranged like that. We're not going to special laboratories and looking at clones being produced to come into the sport and shake it up in every weight division. We're not mass producing clones in human form. We're not doing that. So if we can't clone the DNA of someone that was wrecking shop back in the day, one of the most memorable or one of the best boxers we knew. We took DNA from all of them, and we in here trying to create a hybrid. That's not happening, people. So I'm telling you, we're going to continue to have these type of fighters that just aren't interesting when it comes to the name that they in there with. Ennis he's not gonna be able to fight 5 straight wolves. You're gonna have individuals not willing to get in there. If he goes stop Virgil Ortiz, who's gonna step in there with him? Real talk. Who's gonna be on up there doing damn jumping jacks and shit? Hey, I'm up next. Shit. Fuck what you heard. And it's just stop Ortiz. I want that smoke. I mean, these guys who coming up, they're not gonna be calling for Ennis. Ennis goes in there and do very well and defeat Virgil Ortiz. He's gonna be calling for a small select group of names. That's gonna be either Errol Spence or Terence Crawford. Whoever, at that time. He might be calling one of them. Depends on how it plays out. If not, if we don't get the damn Crawford Spence fight, then guess what? He might very well see him step in there with Spence. And goddamn YouTube, I wonder who you're gonna go for. All the Spencerholics. I just wonder how you're gonna play that. You still gonna be talking about who Boots need to fight? Okay, I get it. What's the difference? Let me see. Super close between Hurd and Laura too. Judges had 114-13 for Hurd. I had 114, 113 for Laura. I hate saying bums, so I say domestic level fighters. All of them domestic level. All of them done. All of them domestic. The reason why I say that, look at Canelo's record when he was fighting all the Mexicans. I mean, look at most of these people's record, man. Fighters have to build themselves up. They're human. A lot of them have domestic competition, so to speak. A lot of them have ragu all on their damn early career. That's just the way boxing is set up in life. You can't find killers like that want to compete in the sport. You got killers in all combat sports, bro. Boxing just doesn't have these world beaters that's up here and they're going through a different matrix. No, sir. That's not it. Canelo was the same age as Ennis when he fought Lopez. And Lopez almost knocked out Thurman. I get it, but I look at it like this, Don, like every boxer is different. Yes, Josecito Lopez did very great against Thurman, but we don't know what Thurman's head was, this, that, and the other. He did give a good show of himself. Real talk. But what these fighters are at right now, listen, I'll tell you, Ennis is the future. However far he's gonna go, I don't see him being at welterweight too long. Real talk. Especially to unify no damn division. I don't know why he talking like that. But Ennis is big for the division. Don't know how long he's gonna be able to make the weight. And I'm pretty sure, like everything else, he don't want to be sitting there for a year and a half and only fought twice. He don't want that shit. So if he stays there to unify, then he's really gonna have these weight cuts. This is gonna become a problem. He's still young, so he still is able to put his body through that, the rigors of weight cutting. All right, he's still a young dude in the game, bro. But I don't know how long he's gonna be at 47 if he does get, to fight for a title. I can't see longevity. I see him, becoming a champion and then moving up to 54. If Boots Ennis, Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, man, with the changing of the guard that's going on up there too, let's just say Jamel Charlo dropped the belts, Brian Castano dropped the belts, or whatever the case after they win. That's going to be a very, very hyped division. If, we can get the Ennis to move up there, Errol, Crawford. I don't know if Keith Thurman's ever going to make that move. Even Danny Garcia, per se, moving up to 54. It's just a lot of ways. You got Charles Bad News Conwell that's already up there and shit. Man, we got so many names. Erickson Lubin, Sebastian Fondora, Tim Zhu. It's just a lot of 154 pounders is up there, dog. I'm telling you, man, that shit is homicide. That motherfucker, 154, it's about to be lit. A crime scene. Canelo's a notorious cherry picker, though. Okay, maybe Golden Girl was moving him that way. He wasn't opposing that shit, though. Hey, even though with Canelo, man, he had to do what he had to do to get to where he wanted to be. The end state is what you're trying to get, the mission accomplishment. Canelo don't have no motherfucking super predator type record. Like he was just out here looking for motherfuckers. Whether he had to go in caves and shit and find a motherfucker that been knocking out caveman. He wasn't going out there trying to fight motherfucking full-blown kangaroos and shit. He had to find his human competition. And when you look for all these humans that are able to fight on the elite level of boxing, it's tough, y'all. It's tough even for Canelo to go out here and find a replica of the Floyd Mayweathers, the the Triple G's, Gennady Golovkins, the Daniel Jacobs. We ain't trying to look for no Abney Yildirim's. Okay, Rocket Field, we just leave that shit alone. But I'm just telling you, bro. Like, expect that from these boxers. Expect it. We can't go out here and find killers all over the place. We can't do it. Comparing age and surface level shit, Canelo was much further along in his career than Ennis is number of fights and experience. That's true. That's true words. Canelo had over 40 fights when he fought Floyd. But yeah, he was too green. Yeah, I know Floyd made him look green as you want to be. You know what I'm saying? But they put him in there. How many fights do you need? Boots sitting at 28 and Canelo sitting at like 41, 42 when he fought Floyd. Come on, man. How many fights you need, bro? You put him in there with a whole thing of ragu. You got down, dress him up real nice. And you get ready to serve him up as if he the best dish they ever had. Red hair. They put the cinnamon on top and shit. They really thought Canelo was going to go in there and beat Floyd. And he got clinicked. To be fair, at 15, Canelo's second opponent became a world champion. Okay. Kudos to Canelo. I mean, like I said, everybody's resume is going to have a roadmap to it, bro. And that shit is just the way it is. It's going to be a roadmap. That shit is all different. Some motherfuckers just have to climb down the motherfucking ridge lines and fingers and draws in the mountain and travel through the waterways and shit. Climb up that mountain. And some people just take the roadway. They have a smooth motherfucking road. They just take their roadway. Enjoy the scenery and shit. Drive all the way around. Get the stop off. That's how they career. You got some people going off road. I'm telling you, bro. Riverside Rocky is solid, but he's never been top tier. That's why I say the super fight at 147 will probably Virgil O'Connor being of someone coming up from 140. Interesting. I don't see anyone at 140 making serious noise. At welterweight, I can't see any of them taking the division. Taylor's bad boy, though. I don't see anyone at 140 making serious noise at welterweight. I can't see any of them taking over. I can't see them taking over because Regis don't act like he want to move up to 47. Josh Taylor's made mention of it. And all the rest of the fighters there, I mean, we got Teofimo Lopez coming up there to 40. And he's still going to be a problem at 40, man. He's going to be a world champion at 40. I'm telling you. So I agree with what you just said. It's not too many 140 pounders that's moving up just yet. And not too many exciting. Josh Taylor is not exciting to me. Now, if he fighting Crawford, okay, cool. I'll tune in, but he need to fight somebody up there that make motherfucker, lean forward and shit. Like, huh? Okay. Ain't shit super about Ben versus Ortiz. It ain't. But look, I'm wondering how long the fire will from 35, burn all the way up to 47. For real. Like, we got Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia. I already know. I know the in-between shit. Gervonta said he's gonna campaign. I know that. But you have T.O. that's already moving. And then you have Devin Haney's gonna be moving. I'm pretty sure sooner or later, Richard Comey might take a peek out of there. Ryan Garcia may potentially. Once again, if these names that's here at 135, I don't know how long Jojo Diaz is gonna be there, but if those names, they probably gonna move up to 40. I'm just wondering, is the fire gonna continue to burn from 35 to 47 for us to see some pretty decent fights? Especially now T.O. is stepping up there. We got Antoine Russell, that's at 40. You got Elvis Rodriguez. You have some names there, man, to put in work. So let's see how that shit goes. But hey man, appreciate y'all pulling up though. I gotta handle some business. Appreciate y'all pulling up. Be sure to tune in to that UFC fight card. You know what it is. Turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports. I'm out.